Merciful and compassionate Father, we come to you in our need to seek your protection against the COVID-19 virus that has disturbed and claimed many lives. We ask you now to look upon us with love and by your healing hand, dispel the fear of sickness and death, restore our hope, and strengthen our faith. We pray that you guide the people tasked to find cures for this disease and to stem its transmission. We thank you for the vaccines developed, made possible by your guiding hands. Bless our efforts to use these vaccines to end the pandemic in our country. We pray for our health workers that they may minister to the sick with competence and compassion. Grant them health in mind and body, strength in their commitment, protection from the disease. We pray for those afflicted. May they be restored to health. Protect those who care for them. Grant eternal rest to those who have died. Give us the grace in these trying times to work for the good of all and to help those in need. May our concern and compassion for each other see us through this crisis and lead us to conversion and holiness. Grant all this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen. We fly to your protection, O Holy Mother of God. Do not despise our petition in our necessities, but deliver us always from all dangers, O glorious and blessed Virgin. Amen. Our Lady, Health of the Sick, pray for us. Saint Joseph, pray for us. Saint Raphael the Archangel, pray for us. Saint Roque, pray for us. Saint Lorenzo Ruiz, pray for us. Saint Pedro Calungsod, pray for us.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, helas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mo pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iibig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mag-aamit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good morning, Capitolians! Especially to our senior high school principal, Dr. Amor Q. De Torres, as well as to our senior high school vice principal, Ma'am Maria Conchita Pibas, and of course, to our university president, Attorney Casimir B. Juarez Jr., and to our executive vice president, Dr. Fe R. Juarez, faculty members, students, and the other participants around the country. I believe you're all excited for this webinar entitled Digital Transformation in the New Normal. The objectives of our webinar today are the following. for the participants and students to learn the digital world, careers in digital world skills, tools that can be used to make use of digital in helping studies easier, etc. Maximize the power of online tools to be more connected in the digital world. Learn and make use of digital channels to make tasks, daily work routines easy and organized. To introduce to us our guest speaker for today, we have Ma'am Renilyn S. Mascareñas.
Good morning, everyone. To our beloved and respected University President, Attorney Casimiro B. Juarez Jr., sir, good morning. To our Executive Vice President, Dr. Fe R. Juarez. To our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amor Q. D. Torres, as well as our Senior High School Principal. To our Vice President for Administration, Dr. Franco B. Flores. To our Senior High School Vice Principal, Ms. Maria Conchita P. Bas. Ma'am, sir, good morning. To our Deans and Heads, faculty and staffs, students and guests from different organizations who are viewing with us today in our live stream, welcome and good morning. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our resource speaker this morning. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology at SCI College, Cagayan de Oro City. A member of the online marketing team since 2013 and is now currently working as the online marketing team account executive of Syntactic Inc. She has expertise in search engine optimization in the field of digital marketing, has spoken and shared her skills in SEO and other digital strategies in a variety of talks and conferences in the city, such as for the Go Negosyo and the Department of Trade and Industry. Please help me welcome our resource speaker, a very good friend of mine, Miss Jalou Batilong.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So, good morning to all the faculty and members of Capital University. First and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me to this talk or to this webinar for the Senior High School of Capital University. So, before I begin my speak or talk for today, let me just I know that Rainilyn already introduced me, but let me just briefly introduce to you the background of the company or the environment that I'm working with. So I'm in an organization here in Cagayan de Oro called Syntactics. So we've been in the industry for 21 years now, and most of the services or the work that we do is to create website. We design and develop websites, and then we also have software applications. And then I'm under the digital marketing team. So pretty much of the online marketing services, we offer that and we work on that. And then my specific role actually in the company is the account executive. So wherein I mostly deal with clients, close deals, introduce to them our services, and then introduce to them to our team. So that's the introduction or the brief background of the company or the organization that I'm working with. So I think we're ready. So I'm just waiting for the presentation or my presentation to be flashed on the screen. So So what I'll be talking today will be the digital transformation in the new normal. So we lived in the digital age already. Even before the pandemic, we're already in our path to the digital path or digital age. We're already using technology. It's a combination. The learning that we have is a combination of the instructions from our teachers and then the technology that we are working with. So come in the pandemic, technology is really has become intrinsic to our daily lives. So the rise of educational technology alongside the everyday means that students, students today learn in a far different manner to the ways that their parents and teachers were taught. So lahi na karon ang pamaagi sa pag-learn na to because we have all the sources, we have the internet, we get all the information not na lang only sa library but also to the internet or online. So very easy access to to all the information that we need that could help us in our education and in our learning. So next slide, please. So in the digital or the shift of digital around the world is very kan kayo kanang vast good and then very fast. So last April 2021, so from the population all over the world of 7.85 billion, so we're at 67.1% of those population is using mobile phones, and then the usage of internet has rise also at 60.1%. So grabe gid siya kadako gyud. Out of the 7.85 billion population, almost half or social media users was also increased to 55.1%. So that's all over the world. And then for the social media users, so kasagara gyud ani nga mga users are millennials. So everyone, even before the pandemic, has become or has lived into the online world. So next slide. So during the pandemic or last year with the pandemic na nag-occur siya, there are sectors or industries nga grabe ang effect sa iya, and one of the industries that has been greatly affected by the pandemic is the education. Everyone, like almost 90% of the students, next slide, please. So 90% of the students at one point in 2020, so the internet has become our classroom, our workplace, our meeting space, and then even our dance floor. So a lot of us have lived to or is living in digital world right now. It has, for most of us, like some we work from home. We have worked from home pero nagbalik mi sa office, 50% capacity in the office. But there were last year, we like around 6 months, we've been working from home, and then most of the students are learning through online, though they have modules, but they also have online classes. It's a blend in learning, so naay ka ng modules na apoy online classes, and then it has become our meeting space, so not only for students and teachers but also for the working industry or the working sector, and even it has become our platform of our creativeness. So the rise of TikTok, mga millennials karon. So millennials and Gen Z actually. So mga titas pod, they go into TikTok, and then they're more into social media karon. So grabe gyud ang rise of people living in online world. So on that note, the new normal is digital. So next slide, please. And then next slide padayon. So since we are living in a digital world, there are some skills, especially for us as students, I mean for you students and teachers and other sectors. So there are skills that we must teach and learn in the digital age. So since we are, students use the internet to socialize, connect with peers, share their opinions, express themselves and communicate. So the flexibility of the internet has become really kanang dominant na gyud ang internet sa ato, and dominant na gyud ang online connection. So we teach these skills. Okay, we teach these skills not only for wait. So there are some skills that we need to learn. So we need to be so very careful with what we are doing in the internet, because internet is not really private. When we connect online, when we do something online, it's not really private. So from a young age, we are taught to behave properly and have good manners in terms of dealing with things. So now more than ever good, because we deal everything online, so we need to be careful. So we need to learn some skills on how to to use the internet wisely. So next slide. Okay, so number one is digital learning. So while most students are good at accessing the internet, few know how to search for reliable information effectively. So while when we do research online, this is most importantly for students and also for teachers. And then as a result, more often than not, students end up referring to sites. So end up, or they tend to refer to sites where content isn't necessarily fact checked. So when you do online research, you really need to see your resources or your sources of information kung sakto ba ni sila. So number one siguro that you can fact check all the information that you have in the internet is know the author and then the source. So you can, for example, if you come into an article or come into a resource na talk about a certain subject, you can get the headline or the keyword for that article and then Google it again so that there will be some resources or other resources na mutunga or appear, and then you can fact check if all the information there are true, because all the information that we see in internet are combined of all the research and of all the information online and from authors that are legit authors that gives their opinion on certain topics. So there are sites such as Wikipedia or online forums na they have information, but not all are true or legit because they can be altered and they can be edited. So if you are going to do some research, you can actually look for information with verifiable citations. So reliable information such as TED Talks. So this is the number one information or source of information for students, that you can actually get all the information through dani nga kanang source. Other than TED Talks, naapay daghan kayo mga resources online, but I'm just giving away the TED Talks kay even us in the working sector or sa BPO or the online or the IT industry, we also refer to TED Talks sa mga information that we can get or trends in the IT na industry. So another common problem of online learning is that also, students also tend to copy and paste blindly from different websites. So copy and paste, they tend. So not everyone, but most of the time, kanang kapuyan na bitaw ang students, gakraming na, gadali na because of deadlines. So, gina-copy-paste na lang nila ang mga information online without fact-checking it, without checking for the resources or sources, kung tinuod ba ni nga information, kung tinuod ba ni nga kanang the information that they can get online. So, often plagiarizing others' work, without being aware of it. So, when you copy and paste something online na walay alteration or edit or interpretation of your own words and own understanding, you are subject, sometimes you will be subject for legal na mga actions because of you plagiarize someone's work. It is not yours, and murag gipabutang nimo nga imuha na because you presented it. So when you do the teachers and other educators should also teach the students, and students should also be aware that be smart, in how to get the information online. Fact check everything. Check if the source is legit, and then check if tanan ba na siya is tanan ba na siya is kanang legit yun and true. So yeah, next slide. Okay, so there are for teachers and educators, if the students will pass on some assignments or research papers, essays and blogs, mga articles sa inyo based on the assignments na inyong ginahatag sa, you can actually check if they plagiarize the words and the content that they have by I know most of you or some of you is familiar of plagiarism na mga checkers online, but here are some good plagiarism na mga tools that you can use if you think if you will fact check all the information that your students are, are checking or are submitting to you. And also for students, you can also use this plagiarism checkers before you submit your work or research papers to your teachers, so that you will know na, because these plagiarism checkers will actually help you interpret in your own understanding and in your own words ang mga na-research ninyo, para when you defend your research paper or case studies, you would understand or you will understand unsa inyo ang gina-research. Kay basin nag-submit lang mo and then you don't understand anything that you put in the paper nga inyo gi-submit. So magkinaunsa man gani if it will come to a more defense or something nga i-question ka sa imuhang teachers or sa inyuhang, or someone will question about the research paper that you can defend it, because although you have you have used so many sources, at least you have interpreted it in your own understanding and in your own words. So these tools could help you check or fact check your research paper or mga kanang documents na inyo ang i-send. For teachers as well. So, and then, so that's for the digital learning. So for the digital learning, as end ato nga kanang digital learning na phase, be smart to learn how to protect your own work, which you might post online. Be smart to to get all the information and understand the information that you get online. So the second one will be the responsibility. So because the internet makes sharing information and opinions so incredibly easy, it can quite difficult to draw boundaries. So bisag unsa na lang atong i-post, even rants, even the problems that we have with our families, with our peers, with our neighbors. So easy na kay sa ato nga mag-post online. So mag-rant na dayon ta online. It's grabe na gid kayo, wala na siya boundary for people on whatever they post online. So students and educators should be taught and should teach early about the importance of using the internet responsibly. I mean, even before the pandemic, this has been grabe gid emphasize ani on think before you click, and then read before you share, read before you post something online, think before you post online good, because once you put it online, you can never get it back, or wala na kanang nani mag screenshots ana. Opinions written online are difficult to alter or even to delete, and it's entirely possible for them, all the information that you post online will be stay in cyberspace or stay online forever. Kay nay mag screenshot, share. So there are a lot of mga viral na mga posts karon nga, maskin ang chats between the students and teachers, ilang gina-post, what kind of teacher is this, what kind of student is this. So so what happened with with the kaning teaching that we thought in our schools, nga mga bitag the manners that we have as early or as young as like 5 years old, were thought to behave and to have good manners and right conduct. So cliche, but it's the skill, the soft skills, the characters that we have are very important when we deal people online. So the information that you post online are accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. So kani imong post karon, pagkaugma na ni siya sa US, na ni siya sa Canada. So grabe gid kaayo ang reach, vast kaayo ang kanang reach nimo sa online or internet, which is why all the businesses or all the businesses karon are doing online when it comes to their spreading awareness about the services or products that they have, because they know that internet or online kay daghan gid siya audience, daghan sila ma-reach. compared to the traditional digital marketing ng mga ilahan na naandan like television and radio, billboards. So compared to the traditional marketing, businesses are into online na karon kay daghan gid kayo sila ma-reach. As young as 7 years old, nanay Facebook, so nanay TikTok, so they can, grabe gud kayo ang impact yun sa online or sa internet sa kinabuhi sa mga bata karon. So therefore, it's very important to teach the students, to teach the young children, or for students to be aware how to conduct online discussions correctly. So without provoking or without doing some bullying and showing some provocative behavior. So otherwise, it's known as trolling, kanang mga insightful nga mga information that you can post online. Kanang mga post na mag-react ka, imo i-share and then you react to it. So by teaching the students, hello mga teachers, and students also to be aware that finding a balance, being respectful of others' opinions and clearly expressing your own views online, so we can avoid actually trolling and bullying and provocative or showing provocative behaviors, because whatever you post online will actually kind of bounce back sa inyo ha. You post something today, say for example, you post something today about a certain matter. Let's say politics, kay mo kani man jud ang pinakainit jud karon na topics, and then you get all your rants because of the information that you see in the internet, kaning mga opinions sa uban and then opinions sa uban imong gipang combine and then nag-interpret ka of something nga bitaw no, without even fact checking or research on what really the subject matter is. So nag-post ka na, so you will have the chance to delete it, of course, sa imong Facebook, pero not dayon like immediately nga imuha na siyang i-delete, and then you apply for a job, and then most of the employers karon, the HR personnel and HR officers are looking into your social media. This is where since you're still a senior high school, you will go through college, and then eventually you will find work man gyud once you graduate. So all the information that they can get from your social media will be they will also base it on what type of character you have, because when you apply for a job, dili raman ni siya ingon nga kanang inyuhang skills lang. I mean, maayo kay ka mo design, maayo kay ka mo develop, maayo ka mag-speech and everything. But when they try to background check your character, your family, makita man na dayon sa inyong social media. So be very careful on what you say on social media. Kay usahay ang mga, no, not usahay yun. Most of, I mean, part na yun sa protocol sa mga HR personnels karon na they check your social media for your unsay mga type of type of posting na butang, type of content on your social media. So when you apply for a job in the near future, somewhat na in the near future because we're in the digital age na yun, even without the pandemic, we will be in digital and we will remain in digital. So be very careful, be responsible on what you post and what you reach or share on your social media profiles, or what you say about a certain matter. You can post your opinion without provoking or with respect to other opinions. Kay you cannot please everyone with your opinions, man. But do it in a with respect and not in a provocative behavior. So that's for the responsibility. So okay, next slide. So privacy and safety. Teaching students about safety online is paramount to their welfare. So, and students also be aware of your safety online. So, avoid posting personal information online, like your emails, your phone numbers, your address, your complete address. So, because most of the time, the young generation, young children, students often feel safe on the internet when it is not. Anything in the internet is not safe. When we create say for example, when we create websites, we have some protocols or we have some checklists that we implement to make sure that all information, especially you're familiar with Shopee Man and Lazada, and you put, excuse me, and you put all your information there, your address, okay, of course, kanang mga cash on delivery, kanang i-deliver nila or i-deliver nila inyong mga orders online. So those websites have kanang encryption of the information, na sila mga high level of security para dili ma-hack ang information. So anything in the internet, anything you post there is not safe yet, especially within the realms of social media accounts. So kanang yung social media, there are many instances na mga Facebook na hack, na close, nakuha ang password, lahi na ang gikuan, lahi na ang gipost, na dili na gyud ang owner. So mobitang it is encouraged for people who use Facebook out there, like almost everyone of us is using Facebook and using other social media accounts to change your password regularly. So di wala man siya ingon nga everyday nimo siya i-change or monthly nimo siya i-change. Pero in a year siguro you change it by 3 to 4 times, and then make sure na it's a combination of characters, numbers, dili lang imong birthday, dili 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, because 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 password is one of the most hacked na password this year. Wala pa gali na human ang 2021 or this first quarter. So according to survey kanang 123 or 123 password, default 123, muna sila ang mga kanang top on the list nga ma-hack yun ng mga password. So if you do use mga online deliveries or online shoppings, like that, make sure nga naa sila kanang privacy policy. So you always check the privacy policy on how they will use your information, because some of it will be connected to your GCash account, to your credit cards, to your PayPal accounts. So make sure nga naa sila privacy policy. Shopee and Lazada, they have naa sila mga kanang high level nga mga security nga mga codes or security ng mga platforms ni ilang gina-implement sa ilang mga websites and platforms to make your information safe. So part of the privacy and safety also for students is includes the password protection, careful monitoring of privacy settings, and disabling cookies and geotagging functions. So di ba when you post something online in Facebook, kay usahay na ay kanang location nga posted in Cagayan de Oro City in Jensen. So when you post also kana mag-travel mo or manggawas mo sa inyong balay with your family, do not post na traveling to something kay murag ang mga hackers or ang mga, not only the hackers, not the people na siguro magkuan sa inyong or gitiunan na mo to sa inyong balay, because knowing na wala mo sa inyong balay. So some people might take advantage of that because you've already put in all the information in online na in Facebook nga wala mo sa inyong balay, nag-travel mo, wala kuan sa inyong balay, hey naamitan nan sa kuan with the family and everything. So whatever you post online, be very careful of it. So also with kana bitaw yung mga like sa Facebook na yung mga quizzes dana or mga games dana na yung mga ipang-allow ninyo nga mga buttons. So be very careful of that because your information can be record, and then it can be used for spamming na mga messages and eventually hack your social media accounts. And then the locations, so okay naman na siya. I've already talked earlier. So privacy and safety, just be careful with what you post online and what you what you put online sa inyong mga social media accounts. So next slide. So the number 4 is the etiquette. So we have thought, as I've said earlier, we have thought as kanang to behave properly and have good manners. So now with many parts of our lives, or our lives is actually moving online, so including our education, so the need has risen for a set of specific online etiquette. So guidelines that would help us apply good behavior sa online world or sa digital world. So these guidelines are set of rules that dictate, what tasteful and respectful online behavior is. So even when we do the face-to-face na communication with our teachers, with our fellow students, with our administrators, so we have to apply that also online. So number one that we have to, the rules or etiquette that we need to learn when dealing with people online is to be careful with your tone. Diba? A lot of misinterpreted na mga messages kay naa sa text, naa sa chat. So, especially if capital tanan, yes sir. So, and then bold letters and all caps can sometimes be interpreted as yelling or more bitag imo dang teacher kay mo nga nasuko ka or even as kanang even if kanang dili students and teacher really relationship, we also here in working, in working space in sa inyong profession when you graduate, if you message your clients na all caps, murag inciting nga murag are you angry or something, unsa man ni siya kanang mura kag nag-provoke. So when you when you send messages through text, through chat box or through messenger or unsa pa na inyong communication tool at dana, make sure that all respect is naapagyapon there. So you should be careful with capitalization. You should be polite. Good morning, sir. Na ako i-ask unta, sir. So mga ingana bitaw kanang do not forget also the courtesy. Good morning, because more often than kanang nay mga students magud nga mag-text nga wala nay sir and ma'am. And then a lot of students as well, graduates, we have an experience here pod nga nay nag-apply OJT, nag-apply siya og OJT, and then ang iyang itubag is okay daw be asa mangudayon ko paingon asa ko moadto. So murag the young generation or the Gen Z should be thought first good for the basic courtesy. Good morning, thank you, and even that OJT katong nag-apply is wala siya nag-thank you for the information that he got from us. So kato pa lang red flag na siya sa Samoa. So wala naman siya dawata because more than anything else, tsada gid kayo yung portfolio. He is from a prestigious school here in the city. But what we are also looking for is the character, the behavior, the personality of that person. Because you're in the real world na, and when you deal with clients, no matter how skilled you are, pag rude yun ka. So, be very careful, not with your tone, not only with your tone, but with also how you convey your message and you deliver your message to the people you're dealing with online and even pag mag face-to-face na. So apart from texting and texting and kaning mga messenger or chat box, it is also advisable to be aware of your tone sa inyong online classes. Kay kuan naman mo karon ga Zoom mo or Google Meet or Google Classroom. So be very careful of using audio or video forms. So this is where these rules or where this rule you generally apply more. So for instance, if inyong teacher is nag-talk, make sure nga naka mute ang inyong microphone, or if naka off inyong video if you're not in your working space na walay laing makitaan. So to not talk over someone or listen carefully and actively participating in class. So even if you're naka-mute imong microphone and then naka-off imong camera, you can take down notes. You just listen actively. That way you're already participating in the class. So dili man po siya necessary nga na kay camera because not all of us or not all students is able to do that. So as long as you hear the class, you hear your professor well, you just take down notes. So that's a part of the etiquette online, especially that we are moving our lives in online. So number two is be accurate and factual. So as I've mentioned kanina, fact check all the information that you have. The internet is a vast place with information from all sorts of sources. So this is why you should be careful when providing information and when submitting your case studies and research papers. So it's very important to fact check everything you read, everything you post, and when you also, if you have some research papers or case studies, you can possibly include na lang the sources when giving sources of the information that you have. So very important po ibutang ninyo ang source of information na so that your teachers will know where you get all the informations that na naa sa inyong research paper, and they can fact check it. So the third one is search first, then ask. Search first, then ask. So if you get stuck with a question, or naamoy malibog para sa inyo, or you get confused with the information that you have, or the certain assignment, or certain subject, you can actually search or search it before you ask your classmates or professors. So you might find answers so fast by researching or doing some research online, and there's no need to kind of ask by your professor or any classmates. And then if the information that you get online is not murag dili gyud siya ingon nga mo support gyud sa imuhang think, do not be afraid to ask your professors, or do not be afraid to ask your teachers. Support is given when it is needed. Yun. So don't be afraid to ask. Even if you are in, like for example, here in the professional world, all the newbies that we have, we encourage them to ask. Ask yun. Ayaw i-interpret nga sa inyuha lang kaugalingon. Because if you feel nga murag libog na kayo, and you get confused now with the things that you do, with the task that you have, or the work that you have, always ask someone higher than you. Pwede po din yung classmates, pero katong classmates nga mo tubag og tarong, or inyuhang professors na dayon. So you can first ask your classmates katong mo tubag og tarong, and then if the information is still not enough, then that's the time that you ask your teacher, or your ayo po na bugal-bugal na question ha. So just ask them, dili man na sila kuan na sila masuko kung mag-ask mo. It's better to ask than mag-interpret kag imuha na. So we all encourage everyone to ask if you're so confused now with everything. So so that's for the third one. And then number 4 is don't use sarcasm freely. So when going back to the be careful with your tone. So na mga sarcasm jokes. So na mga jokes nga katong face to face pa ta, pwede ra ma-interpret as a joke ra to. Pero when we do online, na mag-joke ka online, it can be interpreted in another way, or in not so good way. So it is encouraged not to use sarcasm, especially doing some communication online. Kay may man tong face to face pa ta, kay makita man natong mga facial expressions and gestures na makaingon yun ta nga ay nag-joke ra dai siya, so no offense meant to siya. Pero when you convey your message, or you make joke online, so more challenging siya nga i-convey nimo yung message. Uy, joke ra ba yato ana. So very difficult siya. So that's why it is gina-discourage ang pag-use of sarcasm, especially sending jokes through text and through online messaging, especially when communicating someone online or dealing people online. So dili gyud siya ingon nga kanang ma-transmit nimo ang tone of jokes when using text or when using message. So mga light-hearted na mga jokes can be viewed differently in text and in messenger. So you need to be very careful about making the intent behind your word. So communicate clearly and be point all the be brief na and on be on point. So sarcasm is off limits online. So no gyud na siya. So the fifth one is be as polite as you are in person. So as I mentioned earlier, katong face to face pata, when you see the professor or when you see the teacher, we always say our courtesy man, good morning ma'am, good morning sir. So karon kay kanang okay, ingana na lang magud ang tubag karon, okay. So more bitag wala na yung mga courtesy, the basic ones are often forget by students and usahay pod sa mga teachers. So respect is a two-way man. So when you reach out to your students, be very careful of your tone as well. Kay masking wala ka na nga saba, based on the text that you message or the message that you have in Messenger can be viewed differently. So read it. Like for example, if you will send a reprimand sa imong student online, so kanang be very careful na because there are 1,000 ways to say something sa online. So if there are certain ways that you can say the things online yun. There are different ways. Ways to say sorry without saying sorry, ways to say thank you without saying thank you. So be very careful on what you on what you send online yun sa inyong mga students and also to your teachers. And then be as polite as you are in person. So being respectful and polite to others should be part of your communications online. Pero masin pag dili ni siya kanang itudlo, this is innate in all of us. So we have to be kind and we have to be polite in every situation, in any situation, and to anyone. Good. So dapat innate ni siya, dapat skill ni siya nga dili ni siya dapat itudlo sa ato. And then the sixth one is use proper grammar and punctuation. So I'm not saying that grabe gyud nga kanang perfect na gyud ang yung grammar and punctuation. There's always room for improvement and there's always room for growth when it comes to grammar, proper grammar and punctuation. Even as here sa professional world, naagya po kanang instances that we need to ask our colleagues or we need to ask our peers kung sakto ba ni nga pagka sulat na po nga email, sakto ba ni siya na proposal for the client because when you work in digital world, dili lang magud Pinoy ang inyong clients or Pinoy ang inyong ma-deal with. You will be most likely dealing with other other people in other countries. So they're also not very they also not nga kanang they have proper grammar and punctuation, but it is very important na the right use of period, the right use of comma are in place. So mga basic rules in grammar and punctuation. So proper grammar and punctuation can make the message seem more professional and thought out. So if i-read sa imong client or if i-read sa imong professor, do not use jargon words sa inyong mga case studies or research papers or unsa pa na mga essays ni gihatag sa inyong mga teachers. Jargon words kanang mga rendezvous, ng mga lalong na kayong mga words bitaw nga murag dili na gyud siya mag-make sense just to impress your teacher and just to say nga okay maayo ni siya bata kay kanang naing mga words nga out of our vocabulary. So you do not need to do that to impress someone or to have a good piece of information na isubmit niyo sa inyong teachers. Just use simple words na readable and simple lang. Mas okay pa na siya kaysa atong mga lalong na gyud kayo nga mga English nga wala na wala dito nga dili pa gyud siya mag-make sense. So by doing that, you are also preparing yourselves for professional writing that you might do in the future. So kung kanang mag-work mo online, in the whatever field or whatever kanang profession that you'll have in the future, you can really make use of this one. But when it comes to kaning kung work mo in digital world, proper punctuation and grammar is really encouraged yun to deal with your clients, to deal with your colleagues. Kay when you work sa digital world, or when you, yeah, dili raman pod Pinoy pod imuhang katrabaho. You also deal with a team from other countries like US and India. India is very dili kayo sometimes ilahang English, but there are some Indians who knows how to speak English well. And then very particular pod ni mga Australian and other US clients or other US people sa grammar and punctuation and how you communicate. So if karon pa lang you properly use good grammar and mga punctuations, it's a practice that you can, that you can get, or that you can use in your future nga profession. So think about what you would like to read yourself. Kung ikaw kung mag-read ka og something, 'di ba? Gusto kag simple lang, wala ni mga jargon words. And if you encounter some mga jargon words, you can actually you can use that as part sa imong growth of widen your vocabulary. So imo siyang i-research what does that mean. So at least in the near future, if na kay mga if ma-encounter na nimo again na word, especially kaning dealing with other countries na mga people, makasabot ka unsay pasabot gyud ana. So it should be when when you submit some research papers, case studies, it should be easy to read and comprehensible. The most important thing about your research paper and your case studies, your essays, kay easy to read and comprehensible siya. Masabtan siya og dali. You convey your message well and in a simple manner. So okay na siya. No need to use jargon words. And then yeah, so it also applies on how you send your emails, your message or comment or posts. So ayon na pag butang-butang na og mga words nga dili masin ikaw dili ka kasabot kung mag-read ka. So as long as you use the proper grammar and punctuation, you make your work easy to read and comprehensible, okay na siya, daog na siya. The seventh one is stay on topic. So especially this is most especially kaning sa inyong online classes. So when there is a discussion happening, it's crucial that everyone stays on topic. So ayon mo ambak-ambak sa lain na topic. Do not, if naay uban mo na discussion na ma-stray off mo from the initial conversation. So especially pag daghan kayo tao nga participate. This also happens sa professional work when online meetings. So na yung mga topics nga ipang bring up na murag dili siya appeal sa original agenda. So most of the time ang makakontrol ani is the teacher or the organizer or the committee of that call. So filling the conversation with unnecessary details or information would lose your time. So as much as possible, when you're on the online class or when you're doing classes, stay on the topic so you can save all time. Kay usay ang meeting, 90% chika, 10% is the meeting. So make use of your time. Time is valuable to everyone. So kung unsay topic mo ra gyud siya, we're doing that as our practice here. Kay usahay na yung mga topics na among chikahan, and then malimot namin nga ay okay amo ni ato ang kanang kwan mo ni ato ang point sa ato ang call day karon na unsa naman yung nga 10% raman ato ang meeting, then ang other than the 90% kay puro na siya checka. So we lose our time, and then we have deadlines to meet pa, we have clients to call pa. So di ba, so when you also have a meeting with your, for example, if namoy mga case studies and research mga papers and you meet online lang, you do not meet face to face for a project that you're working on, dapat na mo checklist of what you will what you will discuss, kay para dili masayang ang time. Kay sugon pa ko ni mama magpalit og tuyo, oil, so napa ko yung mga labahan ng mga labhonon. So kanang pag-set lang mo og time, specific time on para sa inyong meeting and discussions, and make sure nga na productive inyong meeting. If you see that the meeting is not productive, end that meeting and do other stuff nga important. Kay, just work 8 hours a day or less than that and be productive. Then the rest, um, kanang relax, spend your time with your family, kay ma-burn out ka ana. So when you have a meeting, stay on topic. Dapat 90% of your meeting is your meeting, your agenda, and 10% kay chika. So, and also, to end this, the seventh one, make sure that you understand what the discussion is about and reply on things mga relevant lang. So, this will be very helpful to both of you and the other peers as well. And it will teach you to be, to manage your time properly. So the eighth one is remember that nothing is private online. So as I've said earlier, anything that you post, anything that you put online is not private, is not secured. Unless na lang katong mga katong online, your billing details are secured yet. So you can you can check man the privacy policy of that platform before you give your your details. So online privacy is something you should keep in mind when typing anything, when posting anything, and when putting anything online. So this means that you should stay away from any considered inappropriate and rude and dili kay secured, feeling ni madili secured. So remember that we already living in age where many things take place online, shopping, grocery, online kani mga food delivery, food panda, so tanan, Netflix, Spotify, sa ato ang mga details, credit card, GCash. Well, GCash is very used good karon po in paying things online. So be very careful on that also. And then kana sa mga GCash, mga food panda, they're they're secured man po. So there is no real privacy man good po on the internet, and you should handle what you share wisely. So do some research before you put something online. Number 9 is make clear and brief points. So this can be applied sa mga meeting ninyo, no? Unlike face-to-face interactions, mabitag taking too long sa meeting kay okay lang kay basta kay kanang makuha na gyapon ninyo ang inyong agenda. So pag face-to-face na ang mga tao, so okay, back to the topic na. But when you're online, dahil kay distractions. So when you do online meetings and kuana, as I've said earlier, do the checklist and then clear and brief points. Go directly to the point. Wala na yung mga chika-chika uban. So make sure that all that information you want to present is clear and brief. Number 10 is respect people's privacy. So treat others' privacy the same way you would want some to handle your private information. So di mo siguro ka gusto no nga ibutang ang imuhang number sa imuhang sa imong classmate. Dito dahil gi-post niya, hoy kanang kani siya need din siya og textmate. Then gi-post din imong number. So we don't want that. A lot of our, especially here in the Philippines, kay mga gina-recycle ram gud atong numbers. So maybe some of you have experienced nga nawag sa inyo nangita og plumber, nangita og kanang carpintero, kay kadaghan na jud ko na ingana. So sige panawag sa ako nga kana ako daw si Rodora sa pag-ibig. Ano nangabot naman yung mga ingana yung mga pan. So even our phone numbers are not secured. Kay kanang gina-recycle magud once nga someone's not using that number, they will assign that to other person, and then that other person kay gi-stop na niya kay naidaghan nga panawag sa iya, so sa imo na ning panawag. So dili gyud siya secured gyud gyapon. So much more kung imo gyud ibutang i-layout gyud i-layout gyud mo na online. So you shouldn't give the personal information of your classmates and professors online to anyone. So if there's someone, like for example, the right way to, to give the number of other person to other person na nangayoan na is to is to ask permission. Like for example, your teacher, na someone nga mangayo og number sa imong teacher. So you always ask the other person permission na, sir, na ay day nangayo og number sa imuha kani siya yang tuyo kay ingani ihana. So ihatag na ko siya, sir or ma'am. Then mayon siya nga, ha, kinsa man na siya, mo iyang tuyo kay ingani daw, sir, and would you allow me to give your number? Siya, sige, ihatag lang. So that's the time na ihatag nimo ang number. Pero kung yung teacher niya, ayaw ihatag lang akong number. So then don't. Okay? Ask that person, unsa di mo tuyo sa akong teacher, unsa ba di gusto iingon. So ako na lang mag-relay because she doesn't want to give her or his number to you or to anyone. Kay, of course, your teachers have also private lives. Dili lang sila mga santo. Dili lang sila mga modules, and dili lang sila lesson plans. They also have life. They also have life to live. So they're also very private people. So give them that and respect that. And for teachers also, if there are, since we're doing online and there are some consultations and questions from your students, you can also set a time in a week kung kanus lang imuhang consultation or consultation time or consultation day. So let's say every Friday at between 1 to 5 p.m. you can ask me questions about your projects. But aside or outside on that time frame or day, you can do all your research and then ask me dayon during that time. So ikaw po, the educators then, they would expect yun nga mag-message ang mga students. And students also should respect kung kanus ang consultation or time magihatag sa teachers for questions to answer all the questions that you have. So be very strict on that, because it would also, it's a skill manggod that we can practice. You manage your time, you met the deadlines. Deadlines good. Deadlines are deadlines good. Kay when you are in the real world, mga students, pag dili nimo ma-meet ang deadline, when we are students, so for example, nag-eskwela pa ta, pag di na ma-meet ang deadline, pwede pa ta mag-ask of mga chances, mga prerequisites or mga unsa pa na dira nga, sir, pwede, and then most of then ang mga teachers, sige, okay, can I just pass your project in an case studies. But when you work na yun and you're dealing with clients, kung di mo meet ang deadline, mawala na ang client. Mawala ang income sa inyong company. And then ma-reprimand ka sa inyong boss, mawala imong trabaho. So we are being practiced pa lang in school na to meet our deadlines. So kung na project nga dapat isend na siya. Or pwede ka mag-procrastinate for the whole week, but just make sure nga ma-send nimo ang imuhang deadline, and then ay ma-send nimo ang project or ang case studies or ang essays ninyo or inyong assignments sa day nga point sa inyong teacher. And then make sure nga kung inyuhan ang isang isend, viable ang information, legit, true, comprehensible, easy to read, and then na ay mga kuan gyud siya kanang home good siya for the assignment that's given to you. So that's the kaning when it comes to deadlines. So kay mo correlate man gyud siya sa privacy or kani mitong mga respect to people's time as well, kaning sa respect people's privacy, because it deals with time, how we properly handle the time that we have, especially in doing our assignments and doing our kaning mga work. So the 11th one is use your professor's proper title. So basic courtesies, ma'am, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. So the proper title should be Yeah, the proper title for your teachers should be understood. So, and students or other people tend to forget it once they're na sila sa class online. The digital classroom is still your classroom and teachers are still teachers. So treat them with respect. Unless the professor states otherwise. So kung yung professor mo, okay ra ko, tawagan lang po ninyo sa akong first name. First name basis ta dali. Okay ra because the permission is given to you to call your teacher on his name or her name. So, pero kung wala gani, so the proper etiquette of dealing with someone higher than us or someone we don't know or kaning kabalutan nga mo manha ta dana to apply work or naata i-ask, always address them with ma'am or sir. Kaya you'll never know, mo din na siyang HR or mo din na siyang CEO sa like for example, when you apply for a job and then eto ka sa company kay maghatag ka sa mga requirements and then yun ang kanang asa day ang kwanda ni ang HR day diri, so inga na bitam then ang HR day mo gipangutana because that has kanang happened a lot of times na dani sa amo apod na nay mga OJTs na mo who will come here, but for now ang mga OJTs kay kuan man kanang online interviews and an online work. And then, but before, katong face to face pa, na yung mga hidari, mga students, and then they would say, kanang kuan, dili ka sila excuse me, mga sa, asa day, ang kanang kuan dari ka ng HR office. And then, ilang ipangutan is the HR itself. Wala mo lang, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, good morning, ma'am, good morning, sir. So, the basic things, the basic courtesy that we need to use to show our respect to other people nga stranger or wala ta kaila samot na wala ug kita ang nay kinahanglan, so address them properly. So apart from using their proper title kaning sa inyo ang mga teachers, you should always be careful to be respectful towards them in all forms of online communication, via text, messenger, email. You should act the same as you would in a traditional classroom. So, pag namoy makita nga teacher, good morning ma'am, good morning sir. Usay ra ba kung dili maka-uniform, dili pod mag good morning ma'am o good morning sir. Diba? So, this is a skill nga dapat makuha ninyo or madala ninyo even after you graduate and you work sa kanang kuan, to whatever profession or field na inyong i-choose in the future. And then the 12.1 is respect others' opinions. So you should be aware that you're not always going to agree with the opinions of your classmates or your professors. Okay, lahi-lahi ato ang perception to things. Maybe this is my opinion on this one, but this person doesn't agree on that. But you don't have to say nga, mali man ka, dili na siya mao ang way of thinking, inana. So murag, you're being off para labi na karon kani mga young generation when you taught them or when you teach them kung unsa gyud ang right way, murag feeling nila kay kanang gi-invalidate ilahang feelings or gi-invalidate ang ilang opinions when you're just giving them advice and then ingani imong na so hey, this is my opinion, I am entitled to my own opinion. Yeah, you are entitled to your own opinion, but you also have to respect others' opinions on your opinions or in your opinions. So, moingon ta nga, we agree to disagree. So, I get your point, but muni siya ako ang point, and then sige, okay, well, ako man ni opinion, and then I respect yours. So, pero mo gyud di pod akong standard mo po ni akong opinion about this certain topic or there's certain things. You can disagree with someone and respect their opinions at the same time. Okay? So, labi na pag kaning sa mga online learning, although online learning carries a level of anonymity, what's the word? Anonymity and distance. So, it shouldn't be a reason not to be kind to someone when you're dealing with especially kani mga viral posts karon kani sa politics about their opinion to this person towards their versus this person. So you respect, sige kung unsa na pasagdain na lang sila kung unsa ilang opinion, basta you know your opinion on that one, you fact check everything in the information that you read online. So especially when you're in the classroom and then your teacher has an opinion on this and your classmate has opinion on that one or on that certain topic, then you listen and then okay, so at least mura kag okay, mo din ilang perception toward that thing and then lahi pud ako so you don't have to disagree jud sa imong teacher nga imo yun na jud ka mali man ka sir, dili man na siya mao. You know, remember that an online classroom is still a classroom. So as I've mentioned yun, do what you do katong sa face-to-face pa nga classroom and karon pod nga kanang nasa online classroom. Your teacher is still your teacher, whether online or face-to-face. So don't the third one is the don't overuse the chat box. So online classes kabalo man ko nga daghan na gyud mo mga groups online, Facebook groups, na may mga Facebook pages and Facebook kaning sa Messenger. So that tool or that platform would help the teachers, would help the students to communicate with each other on certain topics. So they serve as a way of letting students or letting teachers to communicate with each other and ask questions related to what you are learning, to what your subject is, to your research, to your projects. So please make sure to use it carefully kay para dili siya distraction sa inyong messenger box. Kay basi mag-send mo na about sa ni Geraldo, ni Julia, kanang mga cheka sa mga showbiz. So basi dito na mo mag-cheka about ana. So you should only use the chat box or the Facebook group that you have relevant to your topic, relevant to your class, kaning mga learnings ninyo, mga projects ninyo, mga case studies and assignments. So it's not advisable to use this tool for chatting for irrelevant na mga matters and irrelevant subjects. So use the chat box properly. Dili ng mga mag-send o mga ubang information dana. And then number 14, the last one is submit assignments carefully. So being mindful of how to submit online assignments to professors should be something every student should do. And not only po, it also applies to teachers. When you send instructions, when you send mga materials and assignment instructions, be very careful of the subject, be very careful of the message, and be very careful kung unsa nga information inyong i-attach or document na inyong i-attach. Kay usahay lahi ang document na ma-attach. So double check lang, QA your work and QA your message. It applies both to student and both to teachers. So kay usahay ang mga attachments dili mao ang nakuan na na submit or nabutang. And then additionally, you should follow specific instructions your professor or your teacher gives about your assignments for students. So if na mga specific instructions nga gihatag na follow that instructions or follow those instructions. Kay mo bitang gihatag na siya as rules or instructions kay para i-follow. So usay ra ba ang mga students kay direction is a questionnaire. So without reading the instructions. So be very careful of reading the information that you receive and you submit online. So now there are many things that online students should keep in mind other than this 14 na mga etiquettes when doing something online or when doing their classes online. The tone of voice, accuracy, proper grammar, privacy. These rules or these etiquettes could change along the way or in the future. Ma-change ni siya, madungagan. But these are basic mga etiquettes that we should all be learning and we should have in terms of dealing people online man na or offline. So being familiar also with unwritten rules or internet guidelines will help you communicate more and communicate properly with people, whether online or face-to-face. So for the most part, ang pinaka-importante lang yun na i-remember nato when dealing with information online or when dealing with people online is to be respectful and fact-check your information. So that's for the etiquettes of doing or dealing or working information or people online. So for the next slides, it will be the networking. So, digital has changed how contacts are made. So, which is true. Increasingly, social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms are being used to build professional networks and are being used to as a platform to build your professional profile. So, as I've mentioned earlier, HR employers or HR personnels tend to check the background, the social media background of the applicants on how they deal with certain topics and how they deal with their certain issues in life. So, para makita ang character, kay basahon pa lang nimo ang post ani or yung idea about certain topic, murag kabalo na ka nga, kani siya nga kuan, kani siya nga bata, kani siya nga empleyado, murag kuan ni siya, inya na. So, HR personnels are being put there to examine kung unsa ni nga type of employee. Because in our organization, dili may we discourage kaning ga-complain, we discourage mga rants, pwede ka ma-frustrate sa imuhang work, pwede ka ma-frustrate sa imuhang clients, but dili ka pwede ka ma-frustrate na lang on a daily basis na lang of doing your work because it would impact the quality of work that you give to the company, and then the quality of communication or the behavior that you will be giving with your colleagues or with your peers. So we need to teach the students, or students should be aware on how to use platforms properly, especially kaning mga social media platforms. So as I've always emphasized, kanya kung mga gipangyaw dani, I know that it's very familiar to you, you've heard this before, but I just want you to remind all of these things so that you will be kept reminded from time to time na okay, kinahanglan gid ni siya. Susunod sa man ay dili man gyud ko work gyapon sa mga companies kay digital naman ta, so mag-freelance na lang ko. I heard a lot of those thoughts gyud sa senior high or mga college students, and that's fine, that's okay, but still be very careful of whom you are dealing with online. So kung mag-freelance ka, go ahead, but just give your best foot forward. Be polite, be kind, use the internet wisely, use the social media platforms wisely, use the technology wisely that's been presented to you. I can say that the students now have all the information that they need, that they can get, from other sources. Before this, different kayo yun siya. But we cannot compare, of course. Just make use of what you have right now. So whether for teleconferencing, networking, or developing or promoting yourself or promoting your products, or as early as or as young as now, as young as the children's kid kanang karon nga mga generation na sila yung mga business uban business minded na, they're so creative that they can sell their talents online. Just be responsible to it. Just for teachers and educators as well, it's our responsibility to ensure students are adept at using various technological platforms. So to help them also prepare for jobs or the field or profession that we will have in the future. So ang ako lang is for the students to, to have that innate na skill, soft skills. Kaning mga soft skills is being respectful, being polite, being kind, because it can go a long way, and it can get you to the job or the passion that you will have in the profession that you dream of. Okay, because no matter how skilled you are, no matter how good you are at your talent or your kaning mga inyong work, kung maot kag batasan, makick out yun ka. So it will be the character that will carry you to higher position yun, to whatever nga kanang field of profession na inyong pilion in the future. So that's for the for the skills that we must teach and learn in the digital age. So these are very familiar. These are siguro mahabutan na itong mga cliche, mga redundant na ni siya, but the good thing is that we are being reminded that yes, need ni nato sila. So for the next topic, it would be for the like social media in education, and then how we should use social media for education, education marketing. So for social media in education, use the Facebook page to broadcast updates and alerts. So for teachers, I believe this has already been implemented sa inyo, ha? Like use a Facebook page to mag-create mo og group o mag-create mo og page, and then to broadcast ang mga updates or deadlines, mga assignments, mga kung kano sa ang nga date ipang schedule, kung unsay nga date, kung unsa nga mga assignments and projects na i-work on this week, so that you can plan out everything. You have a planner kung unsa ang mga buhaton. So use the Facebook page sparingly. Kung mga teacher, sa mga educators and teachers, give the deadlines there. Kay almost every one of us man kay na ay Facebook. So as long as you have a smartphone, you have Facebook. So easy way to communicate your students there. And then if you have dili man kayo use kayo ang Twitter sa atwa here in the Philippines, but most of the teachers or most of the educators abroad are using Twitter as well as their class message board. So na siya ibutang a certain topic and then i-retweet lang siya for kay maka-create mong gyapon ka og private group sa Twitter, so or private page sa Twitter. So it's their form of murag debate or murag giving information and giving opinions or feedback for a certain topic. So muna ang ginabuhat sa mga educators and teachers to engage their students to a certain topic. And then use Instagram for photo essay. So for highly visual na mga projects, or you will try to make your students be creative on their assignments, on their essays, na murag visual kaayo siya. So you can use Instagram. You can ask your student to create an Instagram for the assignments or the projects, and then they can just delete it after ma-check the professor. But it will also motivate them to be creative, to be resourceful. Yun. Maski dili sila gipanganak na creative, they can be creative because of that assignments that you will be giving to them. And then the social media for education marketing. So these are for those social media nga mga committee sa school. So if you have school events and photos, and I know that we're doing online, so like for this one kaning webinar, pwede na siya i-post to just post something about what's happening in your schools, what are you doing right now sa pandemic to make the students engage with your courses or with your projects or with your assignments, or how you teach them effectively even doing online, so that also when parents can see na okay mo din nagibuhat sa school, they will be interested for their children or for their kids to i-enroll sa inyong school, because you're doing productive maskin online na tanan. So if you have school events and photos, go share with that. So this is for kaning mga gahawit og social media accounts sa mga schools. So dapat updated na siya on a weekly basis, and then create interest-based Facebook groups. The alumni, those mga graduate na sa inyong mga schools, they also want to see the enhancement and then the improvement of the school, of the courses, or the kaning mga fields sa schools na gikan sila. So they also want some news on that, because it would remind them na during their school days, ingan. So you can actually create a Facebook group of your alumni and then share information. Maybe your alumni now are HR of the mga HR na sa mga company, so they can post jobs there, mga on the job trainings na mga offers, so that the students, or so that your students, you can share it to student board, and then they can see na unsa ang mga jobs available for them online. So this is for, again, this is for those mga tao nga nakawit sa social media accounts, schools. So these are the mga activities that you can do to make your social media accounts updated. So for the next slide, okay. So these are guides, basic guides. I know that this has been, kanang taught na sa inyo ha, for the students and also for teachers as well. But I'll just, discuss this to remind you of these guides na learning on how to learning from home effectively. So number one is that you should set up your study or workspace. Now, I understand that not every one of us can set up a study or workspace at balay, because not every one of us can, is able to do that. I myself, kung kanang mag-work from home me, I do have like gamay lang yun siyang space sa ako sa mong balay, where I cannot be distracted by televisions or anything kanang sa silingan namo. So dito ako ginabutang akong laptop so that I can work properly. So I tend to work not tend, I actually work sa akong balay na ginabutan ako sa akong mind na nag-work ko sa office, so that there will be less distractions good. Kaysa balay daghan kaayo distractions. I know for a fact ni mga teachers daghan gyapon distractions, like mahugas og plato, manglaba. For students, ang text, ang TV, kanang mga nga ito, daghan yun kayo distractions yun. So put a space, or basta masing gamay lang a space that you can study and you can focus well in doing your task or your job. For distractions, for the workspace, you can choose a place sa inyong balay na layo sa TV. But not everyone, I understand that not everyone is able to do that. Pero just make sure na comfortable mo and that you can focus well on the task at hand if you're doing that online. So number two is plan your day ahead. I don't know if I'm not sure if your teachers can send you some modules or plan kung unsa inyo ang mga subjects on that week, or the assignments that you have for that week. So what I can advise is that do the worst task first. Eat the frog. So we're eat the frog, ha? Kanunang frog? So may baki, ma'am. So actually, eat the frog is it's a method na ni Brian Tracy. It's a book actually. It's a good read. So itong mga students na naganahan mag-read for self-development, you can read this one. Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy, or maskin to teachers who loves to read self-development books. I encourage you to read this. Can you Eat the Frog? What you will do is that you will plan your tasks ahead. Labi na kaning mga projects and mga assignments. Unahan ninyo ang pinakalisod. Sa tan-aw ninyo nga murag lisod kayo ni, and then mas maghatag ko og time aning murag mas taas ni siya nga time ako ang mas maghatag ko og kanang time nga anong tawag ani kanang i-render aning assignment or project. So unahan na siya first para pag mahuman na ninyo siya, everything else will follow good easily. Kay easy naman tong uban. So dali ra to nimo ma-work or ma-done. So eat the frog first. And then lesson distraction. So I've already mentioned that when you set up your study or workspace, make sure nga less kaayo on distractions. And then when you do online class, please turn off your cell phones as well. If dili yun siya ma-turn off, i-vibrate na lang siya. And then ayo pag text if it's not necessary. So I encourage you to do that as well. Pero in a professional or in professional world, for those working from home, we also encourage them to kaning mga less distractions per television, but the phones. But we have mga messaging nga mga platforms that we use. And then the fourth one is take down notes. If you have questions, just raise it. Okay, I cannot see you man, but if you have questions, na i-ask ninyo, I can entertain it while we're discussing. But if that can wait also, pwede man tamag ka ng open forum after any akong discussion, and then you ask your questions if now may mga clarifications and everything. So I have the committee man here that they will pop the question, then I can answer it. Well, we're at it, kaning discuss that. And then take down notes. So I know that there are many platforms out there nga na ma-use na, like, I don't know, Trello, Notepad, pero however you do it, on whatever, kaning, whatever na inyuhang tool or platform, you always take down notes. So write may key facts. And the most important lang, bahalag daghan na kagiyaw inyong teacher, just put the keyword there, and then interpret lang kung sa inyo hang nasabtan, and then ask questions after kung medyo confusing siya. The most important is mag-take down notes mo, okay? And then take a break. So kung grabe na gyud kadaghan ninyo mga assignments and mga gipang do, so you always have the right to take a break. Naman siguro may break time for all the online classes that you have. Kay baka burnout po to, stressful na gani, not really that, but it's true na stressful na gani nga ka nang mag-online classes ka, because dili ka maka face-to-face sa imong classmates and yun sa inyong teachers. So just take a break yun sa inyong mga lessons and yun sa inyong mga assignments if grabe na yun siya ka-confusing. And then speak up and ask for help. So support will always be available as long as we ask for it. So if there are certain times na i-ask ninyo yung mga teachers for support, they will actually help you. So do not be afraid to ask. So I have a question here. What is the biggest challenge of using digital technologies for 21st century learners? Biggest challenge of using, here. So what is the biggest challenge of using digital technologies for 21st century learners? I think it's because of the information na daghan na kagakuha natin sa sources. Number one is the fact checking of information that we get. Kay people, every one of us tend to react on things that we see in online, the news that we read, the opinions of this higher person, or kaning na ay kanang murag na ay position. So the biggest challenge that we have right now, even as kaning, or even atong mga mama and mga papa, is fact checking everything, the information that we have online. So I think that's one of the biggest part of the challenges of using digital technologies for 21st century learners. That's for me. So I'm still not done with my talk. So napa ko yung mga slides here. I just addressed that question. So for the next slide, it's tools for virtual and distance learning. So these are tools na I can share with you. I don't know if some of you is using this already. But I just want to to share this as well sa inyo, because we as well in the IT industry are using these tools. So this help us make our tasks organized, make our work very efficient and effective. So, okay, next slide. So number one is the Screencast-O-Matic. So it's actually a screen sharing platform or tool. And then if educators or teachers or students kanang, sir, I just can share my screen, although Zoom can share screen and then other platforms can share screen, pero kanang itong dili siya on the spot, and then you have to present something that you would need to record it, so no need for videos na or something. So this tool is very helpful. We also use this to our projects, labi na sa kaning mga project managers namo, and then we walk through our clients sa mga projects and instructions on how to update this website content. So kay para di sila magbalik-balik og unsaon to pag-update ang content, unsaon pag-upload ang content. So we use this tool actually to walk through them for something gusto na mo i-present pero dili na mo siya ma-present sa iya kay busy siya or busy ang mga clients or if busy inyong teachers or busy ang students. So you can use this one. And then for teachers, you can have your instructions nga in this way. So, you know, dili lang siya yung basahon, but they can also hear from you. It's a close to kaning face-to-face. We still need to hear our teachers or our educators to things na we have to do. So you can use this tool. You can download this, just ano lang, kanang download this online. It's easy to use. Very easy lang yun siya. Dili siya nang kuan, dili siya lisod. Instructions will be given to you then diretso na dayon. And then the next tool is the Trello. Very useful kayo siya. It's a web style na Kanban style. If you didn't heard about Kanban style, it's more siya o Kanban method na these are the things that I need to do. These are the things that I'm doing right now, and these are the things that are completed and done. So, tsada ni siya for time management and project management. So, ilis ni mo tanan imuhang to-dos. Masking pag-uli lang sa kung ano, masking pagbahog sa inyong iro. It will make you follow some kanang inyong time. You make your time valuable more if you're doing this. This is also this can also apply to teachers nga na mga lessons or na mga deadlines. Although what I'm using right now is kaning bago nga kanang feature sa Gmail nga mga tasks, but this is a basic method that you can share or that students can use, especially sa ilang case studies and research papers. And then this is a collaborative tool also that students or mga group mates nga can put in their information and put their feedback about ani nga tasks. So kaning gidoing mo ni siya ang mga kwan. So ibalik na pud siya nimo sa to do. So ingana lang siya, drag and drop lang siya sa to do done and completed. So makita ninyo dayon ko, okay, muna ni amuhang na done. Mura ni amuhang na done. Daghana pa kay sa amuhang to do's oy. So kanang you can use this man kay online collaborative tool, and this is free na free na kana ni na kana account or profile. So the next one is Canva. I don't know if nakagamit na mo, some siguro nagamit na ani, some have heard of it but wala sila nag-use, and some kay karon pa nila na dunggani. So Canva is a very useful tool to everyone, teachers, students, mga workers in IT industry, or katong mga creative mga tao, because these are templated na mga designs na for social media posts, for slide presentations. In fact, my presentation is made from Canva. I don't need a designer to do my presentation. If you have presentations that you need nga kanang tsada siya pagka-layout or tsada pagka-present, no need to think na kung unsay design nako, because Canva can help you with the templates that they have. So na mga slide presentations dani, mga case studies, mga papers kung unsay i-layout ninyo so that you can present your project or case studies na presentable, not lang kay easy to read and comprehensible, but also presentable. Okay. You will kumbaga nag-leave na ka og first impression sa inyong project or the case studies or slide presentations pa lang sa kanang pasad niya. So how much more on the content dayon. So students and teachers can use this. Pag naay mga statistics, mga graphs needed, you can get it from Canva. This is a free tool. Na lang siya paid, pero the free tool can already support all the things that you will need in terms of presentations and in terms of kaning mga visual na mga presentation. So you can explore that. Canva is a very good tool, especially sa mga dili kayo creative na mga tao, and then dili kayo kabaloon in terms of designs. So, okay. Next slide. So learning from home can be difficult, but it's definitely achievable. I just borrow this line, which is kasabot jud ko for the students and for the teachers that kanaagi a lot of adjustment has been done and has been made because of the pandemic. But it's not impossible for both teachers and for students, for workers, for clients to work from home na makafocus and makadeliver og high quality na kwan. Because now digital learning helps reinforce lifelong skills like time management, independence, and creative thinking. So this is also a kanibitang a form of motivational sa mga students that they can work without also kaning kuan sa mga teachers nga kinahanglan gyud sila tutukan, so they can work on their own and they can work focus ang kanang ga-focus sila sa ilahang mga tasks. But we are still adjusting to the new normal, to the digital age, pero eventually even without the pandemic we are to that path. Paingon yun ta sa digital. Eventually, everything will be digital. Everything will be cashless. So, kanang achievable ra gyapon na sila tanan. Na mga adjustment, change can be sometimes challenging, pero we can work on that. And then, so, mananata sa mga guidelines, sa mga reminders, of doing or dealing things online. So I'll be presenting to you the opportunities in digital marketing industry. So this might not not be kuan kay sa topic na to, but I am presenting to you on what you can do online if if you will choose the IT industry or the field of digital marketing or digital industry. Kung mag-work mo dani, I just want you to know that there are a lot of opportunities doing online or doing digital. So these are the opportunities that you will have. So the video or audio production, mga editing, kabalo ko nga kanay mga uban nga ga-edit lang out of passion or out of hobby or kanang wala lang pang wala kanang boredom lang, pero that can actually be used or that can actually be a profession in the online marketing or in the digital world. So katong mga mahilig og video editing and audio production, it's a profession. Interactive technology such as AI, I know you've heard of AI technology. So and I think it's ginahimo na siyang part sa curriculum for IT industries. Ibalik sa akong presentation for the opportunities. And then we have also mobile marketing, mobile apps. So if you're using Mobile Legends, so mga developer of mobile mga games. So you have also kanang may kalalagyan kayo in the digital world. So search engine optimization, so SEO, so that's Google. When you search something, restaurants in Cagayan de Oro, they na mga results. So those are not random results. Those are effort of mga strategies sa mga SEO specialists nga ibutang ang business na sa first page. Because if you've noticed, Google has 1 to 3, mga 10 kabuok pages. And then if, di ba, pag mag-search ta online sa Google, dila na gyud tataman sa first page. We rarely go to the second page, to the third page, dila na gyud ta sa first page. So that's why SEO marketers they give much effort nga ilahang gina-market nga business nga ibutang ra gyud siya sa first page. So those are the work of search engine optimization or search engine specialists. And then search engine marketing. So search engine marketing is a very vast yun kayo siya nga group of marketing industry ay marketing strategies. So na mga social media na part na sa SEM is the search engine optimization. The social media, so katong mahilig og mag-curate og mga posts, mga kanang tawagan ka ng mga Gen Z nga mga posts, mga slang nga mga posts. You also have a profession in the digital world. So mo bitang gi-practice tong proper grammar and punctuation, so you can make that as a profession. E-commerce, kana mga e-commerce websites like Lazada and Shopee. So those are e-commerce website kana mga shopping nga mga websites. So you will also have work on those industries. Email marketing, karon grabe gid ang email marketing because we're doing online already. And we are very happy in the IT industry because almost all of the businesses in the Philippines are doing online. So actually naagya po'y positive na effect ang pandemic, especially in the IT industry. Because every businesses karon are utilizing online. Kaya before the pandemic, although naanay mga businesses karon nga, ay naanay mga businesses nga nag-do online, but not every one of them. But in the US, in other countries, even the small salon na ay website and na ay social media marketing. So munang ang mga IT industries or mga BPO companies, mga non-voice and voice, most of their clients are abroad, US, mga call center, di ba, US. Rare na kaayo ang mga taga-Philippines. But now, because of the pandemic, it's not that we're grateful of the pandemic, kaya naapektuhan po ang IT industry because of pandemic. Pero at least it has a positive effect for businesses to do online. So when we're gearing to that path already manunta without the pandemic, pero it forced them to do online, and which is good for them because ang ilahang marketing is out of the box na, not only the traditional one nga, television, billboards, flyers, radio. So mas vast man gyud ang reach sa online. And then we have the marketing automation, the content management and creation for those who love to write. You also have a profession in the digital world that you can utilize and then you can apply for in the near future. So web development and web design, copywriting and editing, analysts, and then business marketing strategy. So kung ikaw sa project ninyo or sa thesis ninyo or sa case studies ninyo, wala kong siguro may thesis. Sa case studies ninyo na magiging yung mga project analyst, mag-analyze kung dapat ingani ang flow, dapat ingani, you have a job in the digital world. So IT is not only for the code kaning mga develop website, the code of mga softwares. No, there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of professional work that you can apply for, that you can do sa digital na industry. Before I graduate, kaya akong course kay IT man, so abi na ko siya, more siya information lang, and then we can get information from the internet. And then not knowing nga naman siya yung mga code and everything. So nagtuo ko nga ako ang work after I graduate is encoder sa internet cafe. But no actually. So okay, so dahog jud kayo ang world sa digital, and I'm grateful that I am in this industry yun. So dili na ka mag-encode og kanang sa internet cafe, you have your passion can be your work if you love to read and write. So you have a work in the digital industry. So daghan siya opportunities yun. And then how can we utilize these opportunities as young as we are right now? Hindi pa pwede mag-work because we still have to go through college, but you can prepare yourselves already in the in whatever profession, not only in the IT industry yun. So these are the following slides, the next slides will be will help you build your online profile that will lead to new opportunities. So number one is, as young as now or as early as now, please build your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn ba niya? No. Ayan, the LinkedIn profile. So the site for professional networking. So this is LinkedIn is dubbed as the site for professional networking. No, millennials make up 38% of LinkedIn's users globally. I know nay uban dali nga nay LinkedIn pero daily updated. So please from time to time update your LinkedIn profile, because 93% of hiring managers search LinkedIn for recruits, according to survey by a career website, JobVite. So JobVite is a US-based nga kanang organization nga ga do some research or ga do some statistics on how recruiters or where are the sources of recruiters online get their kaning mga staff. So LinkedIn is one. So they actually search for people or for mga potential employees nila in LinkedIn. So if you have more than siyang online portfolio nimo, kanang mga experience nimo, and even if you're senior high school right now, na kay mga passion that mga hobbies, mga creatives, or I don't mga even if kanang magtan-aw ra mo og mga K-drama, and then but every K-drama that you watch kay naa kay mga kuan mga what do you call this mga notes, what do you like about this K-drama, how did you find it, so mga reviews nimo, so imo na siyang i-compile tanan and then you put it in your LinkedIn. There will be a lot of opportunities for you. So, di ba, murag nag-chill-chill lang ka, it's only your passion, your hobbies, but it will become your work yun in the future. So, if as young as now or as early as now, just build your LinkedIn profile. Ang katong na yung mga LinkedIn profile, just update your LinkedIn profile from time to time. You never know yet what will happen and who will see your profile. So, next slide. We have Behance. So Behance is a platform for designers, for creative people, katong mga mahilig mag-draw, mga say mga illustrators, mga web designs, graphic designs, mga kaning mga photographers, mag-picture. So you can build your profile or creative profile through Behance. So this is a mga free nga tools that you can utilize. So this is in 2014 na survey. The number of users is doubled kaning for Behance. And then, kabalo mo kasi mga hiring talents here. Nga pangita, it's Google, it's Facebook, Microsoft, Sunny, mga dagko nga mga brands online. So, they tend to get their mga graphic designers here sa Behance because of the profile or the portfolio that they built there or that they built there. And then Facebook is also looking at Behance usahay for the mga creatives, mga social medias, mga kanang kasi tawag ni mga images that they will and they will purchase. So kung nakay mga photos nga imong gi-take in your mobile phone or kanang sa DSLR nimo sa inyong camera, and then you build your profile sa Behance, some of the institutions like Google and Facebook mo message sa imo and then they will purchase or they will get the permission, the license of the images. So bayaran kanila for those photos. So, di ba, your passion can make you be productive and then can motivate you to do it more passionately. Okay, you'll never know who will recruit you and who will contact you. So we have Behance profiles for our people as well, and then we get big clients from Behance as well. So this is early build sa inyong profile online. That could lead to mga opportunities, big opportunities. And then the third one is the Upwork. I don't know if naka-hear na mo about Upwork platform, but for those freelancers, kung namoy ate, mga kuya, mga cousins, mga kaila, mga friends, who are working mga freelancers karon or who do freelance work. So the number one platform where they look for their clients and look for opportunities kay sa Upwork. So in like there are 1.4 million Filipinos nga nag-register alone in Upwork. So Upwork is basically for everyone. And then there are 3,000 listable skills. That's who clients want to hire. So naay mga graphic designers, content writers, and even data entry. Kasi tawagan ka ng transcription. So na-audio ihatag sa inyo ang client and i-transcribe na ninyo. Ibutan ninyo sa document. So data entry, mag-copy and paste lang. So there are a lot of jobs or opportunities that you can utilize actually online. So those are the platforms that you can make use of. And then I'm at the mga last two slides of my presentation. So as a last note, digital marketing is a career that has plenty of room for techs, creatives, and business people. And Also, there are so many avenues that you can follow in the digital world. It's best to focus on one or two things that you do best. Then you can always learn more from there. So there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of learnings to do online because we can easily connect and communicate with people outside our comfort zone. Just make use of it properly and just stay safe and fact check all the information that you have or that you will get online. So that's it for my presentation for the talk for today as we gear toward living in the new normal. So if you have some questions, so I'll still be here. If you have some questions out there, just ask and then I'll try to answer it.
So I believe you have questions in your mind right now. To our participants and students, you may write it on the public chat so that your concern will be addressed. Again, to our participants and students, you may write it on the public chat, your questions, so that your concern will be addressed or your questions. Okay, so we have one question right here from Dre and Luke, the recently elected SSG president. Good morning, Po. Thank you for sharing your knowledge in this field. I just want to ask Po, given the setting that we are currently situated in, what do you think, Po, is the most rampant privacy issue and how can we address this, Po? Thank you, Po.
Okay. Let me just. What do you think is the most rampant privacy issue and how we can address it?
Yes.
Um, Rampant privacy issue. The ano lang like right now is the your name, your phone number, your email address are class A or at the top of the kaning mga private yun nga details that can easily be hacked. So your emails, your phone numbers, your passwords, your address, those are the that's why we come up with this is not a recent issue already. Nana ni siyang issue before. Karon lang yun siya na-enhance because we're doing more online. And then we have kaning Privacy Act na gimugna in the IT industry. So the most common lang yun nga is the number, the emails, the name, and then your social media accounts. Kabantay mo, duplicate in yung social media accounts. I don't know if anyone of you has experienced nga na-duplicate ang inyong accounts, but a lot of my colleagues and a lot of mga younger na ko nga mga cousins and siblings kay na-duplicate ilang account. It's because of the kaning ilang password bitaw and then ilahang username. So in the professional world, we encourage people nga to use kaning social media na ilahang name, ilahang complete name. But that was changed kay murag prone kay siya on hacking, especially the Facebook. Remember, kay Facebook man gyud ang pinakabiggest nga platform that we're using in terms of social media. And it's the platform that we are using right now in everything, almost everything. Kay di ba na ay mga selling dara, mga online selling, mga the marketplace. Facebook is not that as kanang as safe yun nga as we think. Prone siya for hacking, so that's why kaning password kay dapat kay regular it's encouraged so regularly nga i-update. And then all information that you have in Facebook is recorded sa ila. I don't know if you've heard about the controversy about Facebook and how they use the users for advertisers. But Facebook ay ilahang product kay kita ng mga users. 'Di ba? That's why tagan kay ads na naalang kay maklik ay naalang kay i-read na information sa Facebook, tanan na dayon notifications and tanan na dayon na kanang details nga nasa imong newsfeed kay about ato because they're recording what interests you. So kung nag-click ka og page nga about chocolates, so most of the time na dayon imong newsfeed kay about chocolates na kay ikaw man ilang product. Whatever you click on Facebook will be used para i-advertise ang mga businesses. So be careful of what you're doing on Facebook yun. Kay let's face it, mo gyud siya ang pinaka-used gyud kaayo karon na platform aside from TikTok daw. But TikTok is for mga dance lang and then sharing of your mga talent siguro. And then there are a lot of businesses are also doing TikTok naman pod karon. But number one is Facebook. You meet people there, kanang mga live selling, magagabaligya, then you share information with them. Then without fact checking ba nga, sakto ba ni nga tao? Legit ba ni siya? So you share your numbers, you share your address. So muna siya ang kuan kanang rampant gid kayo nga mga issues nga ka-encounter of not lang the 21st mga century nga learners, pati sa atong mama ug mga papa. Kay di ba even our lolas have Facebook because of the pandemic. So yeah, so be very careful lang of sharing your information, password, emails, mga phone numbers, address. So muna siya ang mga top of the list na mga privacy, na mga ay private mga details nga kanang often nga kahack or gakagamit against you.
Okay, so bottom line is we need to be able to, of course, not share our personal information to anyone. Okay, even if you have the closest friends, I mean your closest
Tama.
friends, best friends, or anyone you know. So never ever share that information. So I think we also have the next question right here. Okay, so we invite everyone to please comment down in the public chat your questions so that the speaker or guest speaker will be able to answer those questions that you have in your mind right now. Okay, so I think those things that you have mentioned a while ago, ma'am, we have learned a lot from those things, especially that you have mentioned about fact checking, how to do triangulating the data at the same time attributing the data. So we have here from Albert Franz. Good morning, Paul. What is the most influential digital technology in implementing digital transformation? Again, what is the most influential digital technology in implementing the digital transformation?
Influential techniques. There are a lot actually. So um okay, pinaka-influential gyud siguro is ay sa ako sang i-analyze yung mga question. What is pang Miss Universe mo dahil ninyo mga questions? So kasagot. What is the most influential digital
Yeah.
technology in implementing digital transformation? Um, digital technology. Saan ba kayo? Influential digital technology. Actually it depends on each sector no or industry that we have. Like in education, pinaka siguro they as what I understood, any influential I can digital technology that we are you know that you have asked is the use of kaning Google products or kaning Google Classroom. I believe you're using that. A lot of communication tools that you have kay kuan kanang you're using it right now. One is the Google Classroom, and then Facebook. It's part of the digital technology as well. So you have groups there. Um, you have messages or mga deadlines in your mga project announcements. You do that there. It's also different from IT industry. So we have a lot of the technologies that we use right now, the digital forms, in doing our projects or in doing our tasks, in servicing our clients online. So depende siya on kanang technology, I mean industry. But the most useful gyud karon na tool digitally is kaning si Facebook in every sector, businesses, education, disseminating information for news. So siya gyud ang pinaka widely used gyud all over the world. I hope I have answered that question.
Okay, so we have a message from our vice principal from Maricon,
Oh.
Ma'am Maria Conchita P. Vaz. Thank you very much, Miss Jalou, for your precious time sharing your expertise in the
Thank
IT
you.
world.
Thank you as well for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Mambas, for the support. Okay, we have another question from April Tihada. Good morning po. Now that we are ending our school year, um, are there any online jobs you can suggest for graduating senior high school students? Now,
Um, yeah. Sige. Aside from, I don't know if, because before kasi my immersion, I believe there's immersion, and then we have immersion students from CU as well. Pero that was face to face, and then right now, for IT industries, parang na-pause siya. Pause siya for now. But I believe that there are many opportunities online for students like you, even for teachers and for us. So for online jobs, well, there are a lot of groups in Facebook. Let's use Facebook na lang as tool because it's really a widely used na tool. There are a lot of Facebook groups in groups in Facebook or communities that you can join, and then you find jobs there na parang kaya ra sa inyong talent or kaya ra sa inyong skills. Like jobs like try to search keyword like jobs in Cagayan de Oro or jobs online, and then there will be certain groups. Just make sure na legit siya na group because you can read naman the comments ang mga members, and make sure na ang members niya kay 1,000 above members. And then look for mga tasks na gina-posted to nga kaya ra nimo, and then they will not require a graduate na mga students or other information. And then make sure na when you apply for that job or apply for that work, kanang dili siya, I'm not against networking yun. Dili ko against man ana. They're good when they're utilized good. But make sure lang na it will be productive sa imo hapon. It's not about what job, but it's about can it make you productive, and then income will follow. Basta kay you loved it, and then you learn to love it, and then passionate ka about that. Go for kansa kanang because you're in senior high school pa man karon, go for kung unsa sa ang passionate ninyo about. But there are a lot of job opportunities yun. Just sa Facebook lang, basta fact check lang kung legit pa nga group or not.
okay, so students, I believe that you have heard that our guest speaker mentioned that there are a lot of opportunities that digital technology would be offering to us, especially to you guys who will be graduating from senior high school. So right now, at this juncture, we will be awarding the certificate of appreciation to our guest speaker for today. So the citation reads, Capital University awards this certificate of appreciation to Jalou Batilong in recognition and appreciation of her generous sharing of knowledge and expertise on the topic digital transformation in the new normal. During the Senior High School Days celebration held virtually on May 10, 2021. Given this 10th day of May 2021, Capital University, Cagayan de Oro City, Philippines. Signed by Dr. Amor Q. Torres, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, and the Senior High School Principal. Can we give, once again, a virtual clap to our guest
Yay.
speaker? Thank you so
Thank
much, ma'am, for
you.
imparting a lot of knowledge to our 21st century learners. They have learned a lot, and you are such an amazing speaker.
Thank you so much, Sir Romel. And just a last word and last note for students, no, fact check everything, be very private online, and then be safe.
Okay. So at this moment, let us call in Ma'am Sheila May Balinas to give her closing remarks.
All right. Thank you, Sir Romel. Again, we thank Ma'am Jalou Batilong for sharing fresh points, reminders, and then virtual tools and opportunities that are helpful as we use technology, specifically the internet. I'd like to borrow the quote of Christian Luz Lange, a recognized political scientist, that says, Technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. With the points shared by our resource speaker that internet has become our classroom, workplace, and even dance floor, it is important to note that we must learn and teach skills in the digital age, yet not forgetting to integrate basic courtesy in the way we do it. One instance, as much as possible, avoid complaining in the things we do because it will affect the quality of our work. In the end, no matter how skillful we are, character still matters. I also appreciate the reminder of Miss Jalo that we need to be careful how we use the internet, both in the information we get and share. In behalf of Social Science and Technology Department, headed by Ma'am Renilyn S. Mascareñas, we'd like to thank the administration of Capital University, Attorney Casimiro Juarez Jr., Dr. Fe Juarez. We also thank our principal, Dr. Amor Q. De Torres, and Vice Principal, Mrs. Maria Conchita P. Bas, for the continued support and encouragement as we transition well in this new normal. Our colleagues, deans and faculty coming from the different departments of Capital University, thank you for your support. And I'd like also to acknowledge all the students who spent their time today despite the bulk of requirements since final examinations are coming. Shout out to Humanities and Social Sciences strand. We also wanted to acknowledge the teachers coming from Yumbing National High School and faculty members from MSU IIT for joining us today. I'd like to leave with this point. Think before you click. What you post reflects who you are. So thank you, everyone. May God continue to keep us and bless us.
Okay, so before you leave, students and participants, for your e-certificate, we have the link for the evaluation and the e-certificate on the public chat. Again, we have the link on the public chat about on of the evaluation and the e-certificate for your attendance today. So I'd just like to remind you guys for our next webinar. It is entitled Ang Totoo sa Mito, Ang Mito sa Totoo. So that would be on Wednesday, May 12 at 1:30 p.m. So our guest speaker would be Sir German Villanueva Gervasio. Okay, so once again, please don't forget to go to the link of the attendance so that you will receive your e-certificate. So before we will end this webinar, we would like to thank all the students and participants for joining us today. We highly appreciate the support and presence by our senior high school principal as well as to our vice principal, Ma'am Maria Conchita Bibas and Dr. Amor Q. De Torres. This event wouldn't be possible without the people behind this webinar. So we would like to thank the Social Science and Technology Department, which is headed by Ma'am Rand S. Mascareñas, and the members, Ma'am Sheila May Balinas, the SSG advisor, Sir Bird Langam, and yours truly. This has been your host for today, Romel Fentes signing off. Goodbye, everyone, and you may have a great day.
Sing and dance for your true friends of devotion and faith. Singing you enough in many festivals of vision and of faith. Voices echo in unison. the ocean